couple of pointers around spirit guides today. The reason I thought this would be a good topic to discuss briefly is because I think the question, who are my spirit guides, is one of the most fundamental questions that any seeker has who is working in meditation, working spiritually to develop, to grow, to open their intuition, to get more connected to the other side, and to ultimately get a line of communication with the spirit realm. That's been my journey, at least. And the primary question I had, I think, without even realizing it, was who are my guides? Historically we called them guardian angels, but um, in the new age, sometimes your spirit guides, that terminology is used. So that's what I mean. It's sort of your helpers in the spirit realm. And they can take any form, like I've said in previous videos, but I'm not going to address all the different kinds of beings they can be in this video. Really, what I want to cover here today is just a couple of good things to know about spirit guides. The first thing to know is that your guides are often a part of your soul. So it's not correct to think of your guides as outside of you or as external beings from you. They're actually most often they're a part of your soul line, your soul lineage, or your oversoul. Sometimes you'll hear oversoul and soul groups. So that is it's a good way to interact with your guides, as most often they'll be higher aspects of you, incarnations that your soul has had in different times and spaces. If you want to get quantum about it, these times, even if they're technically on one level in the past or the future, on the quantum level, they're kind of parallel lives. So they're parallel yous, and your soul is incarnating in these different aspects. And technically, you have infinite parallel lives, or infinite counterparts through time and space. But the ones that come to you in meditation and in your inner space are the ones that hold wisdom, that and experience, that are and specific medicine that will benefit you in this incarnation. So you have a shared life purpose or a shared soul purpose. You have a shared um, soul theme or life theme that you've developed and worked on, and they have specific medicine and guidance to offer you in this incarnation. So those are the ones that will, resonate with you the most, and they'll resonate up for you in meditation to guide and aid you in this life. So you'll hear the term higher self in the new age, and that's just our way of saying that your guides are not outside of you. They are most often a part of you. There's often times where, like, past loved ones who have gone to the other side can be your guide too, sort of, but not in the same way as like your primary spirit guides. These are these are helpers in the spirit realm, but they're not you in the same way that your higher self is you. So the next thing to know is that your guides will never, they won't become, they won't appear to you in a way that would induce fear. So the ability to which you can communicate and interact with guides is really dependent on um, how much fear you have in your system when you're meditating and interacting with guides or asking for connection with guides. I know, in my meditation journey, I had some fear that I had to deprogram around meditation and working with spirit guides. And for a couple of years, I couldn't get a clear connection with my guides because I had anxiety come up in my system anytime I had that feeling that I was channeling, like when the vibration in the room would get different and the body temperature would change, and the kind of things that you go through whenever spirit is near. Your guides will not interact with you in such a way that they destabilize you or knock you off center. So the more you can shed fear in your life and in your meditation practice and your spiritual work, the closer your guides can come, and the more direct communication you'll get from your guides. If you have a lot of fear in your system, they'll probably stay a little bit distant and communicate and guide you through dream time whenever you have less anxiety in your system, when your rational mind is a little bit more offline, because that ego can sometimes be the one that holds the fear and the doubt around what's happening in like a channeling session or meditation. So it's easier for your guides to come near whenever you're in a peaceful, state where you're not feeling defensive and guarded, that kind of thing. The next thing to know about your guides is, I love this one. They don't really want to give you the answer. They don't want to run your life. One of the mistakes that mystics can make with guides and working with guides is asking our spirit guides what we should do in every situation and every moment in every big life milestone, appealing to the higher self for answers. And while I think usually the problem is people are not appealing to the divine enough for answers, if you're a mystic and you're on the meditation path, and I know a lot of us out there do this, there can be, it's almost like kind of a codependent attachment with our guides where we don't feel like we can make choices in our life without running them by spirit first. And if we get a download in meditation, or a flash of insight, we feel like we have to, those are our marching orders, and that's like the voice of God, and that's what we have to do with our life. But your spirit guides are wiser than that, and they're gentler than that. They do not want us to um, treat them like they're our parents and we're the children. That wouldn't be a very empowering relationship. They're more giving you insights and visions and downloads and meditation and dream time that will spark your own wisdom. They're interacting with you in a way that your own discernment will bloom, that you'll get clarity yourself. And so that's often why you'll, when you're interacting with guides and you're getting visions and meditation or dream time, that the messages are a little cryptic or they're in symbolic form. And it's because it's sparking, it's supposed to spark in you and awaken, catalyze the wisdom within you so that you arrive at your positions in a more sovereign, autonomous way. And so your guides don't become, your angels don't become the, the drivers of your life. That would be in a sort of a violation of free will. So they're very careful about um, leaving, you a good deal of autonomy. So that's good to know. And then finally, just one last thing to know about spirit guides is that you can actually increase the connection with your spirit guides. This took me a little while to learn how to do, but um, you can actually, once you make contact with a spirit guide, you can ask them for their name, for a visual ID, for an energetic signature. I have another video where I talk about how to do that, and I'll link that below. But you can actually ask them once you get connection, how can I strengthen the connection? Because often the first connection is a little bit faint and the messages can be a little mistier. And so one of the good questions to ask your guide is, how do we go deeper? How do we strengthen this connection? Sometimes my guides have told me to try chanting. Some guides have told me to try writing. Some guides have, encouraged certain crystal use or plant spirit use. So it just depends on your guide, but definitely ask that question and know that divine communication with your spirit guides is a two-way street. You can ask questions, they'll answer, you can ask another, and you can actually be conversational with your guides. So um, and also one thing to know in terms of like communication with your guide is if something's not clear, you can actually ask them to um, for more information. You can prompt them if something's not clear. You can prompt them to confirm things for you, or to state them in a different way. So know that it's more like a conversation and not just like a telegraph where you're just stuck with this like one note that they sent. So you can kind of back and forth just like you would when you're talking to a friend. So that's good to know. The last thing I will leave you with is my favorite book on communication with spirit guides is opening to channel. I've talked about this book before, and it's one of the biggest ones that helped me on my path. So I will link it below. It is um, full of exercises to test out these theories, and that's what I love about spiritual books when they have a lot of exercises. So you know they're worth their salt whenever they actually give you the means to put their concepts to the test. So I recommend that. And if you have any questions about connecting with spirit guides or the spirit realm, please make sure you put them in the comments below. Or if you have tips around how to better connect with spirit guides, we would love to see those too. Thanks so much, guys. Thanks for liking and subscribing because it helps my channel, and I will see you in the next video.